Hello everyone, welcome to Academically's another podcast session. I am Sunidhi, your host, and today we are going to talk about something really important, something most awaited that you all have been asking about, the Australian Medical Council 2 exam. Today on our podcast, we have with us Dr. Imelda. She is an experienced medical professional who completed her MBBS in 2018 from Pushpagiri Institute of Medical Sciences, Kerala, India. She possesses outstanding clinical and pre-curricular skills and has worked in several medical posts such as that of resident medical officer in Kerala. Dr. Pradeep has recently completed both the AMC exams along with her PTE exam, and she is ready for APRA registration and migration to Australia. Now, to help fellow doctors and AMC aspirants achieve what she could, Dr. Pradeep has partnered with Academically as its AMC faculty member. So I would like to welcome Dr. Imelda. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks, Sunidhi, for this opportunity. And thanks Academically and the entire team for helping me to provide an opportunity to share my experience and few information from my experience to those candidates who are waiting for the AMC Part 2.
Right, ma'am. So, doctor, just to start with, how was your experience? Like, how has been your experience with the AMC clinical examination? And is it really as tough as aspirants thinks it would be?
To be frank, from my perspective of view as a full-time working and a full-time working mother, to be specific, with a small baby, it's like it's a doable exam. Obviously, it's a doable exam, but what we need is a little bit of effort from our side, both from theory point of view as well as practicing the role play sessions that would give you an end positive result. And happily, I was able to clear all the exams in the first go itself. So that has helped me to gain a bit of confidence, like helping the other IMGs who are like me, like they are able to clear this part of exam too.
Correct. I think this is very clear for all the aspirants that it is not that difficult. And, even with a kid you have handled and you have managed to do so. So I'm sure that everyone else can also do it if they have like the correct passion and the hard work that they do. Yeah. So moving to my next question, ma'am, that can you please explain us in simple words that, what is the proper structure and format of the AMC2 and what clinical skills and competencies are assessed during this exam. Also, it would be great if you could let us know that how does AMC2 differ from the AMC1 exam in terms of preparation, or we can say focus and the skills that is tested.
Okay, to be described regarding MC Part 2, it's different from MC Part 1, which is the MCQ or the theory basis, and MC Part 2 is more of testing your clinical skills and applying the clinical knowledge. And moreover, the most important aspect is communication. Communication skills is something that is very important in the Australian healthcare system. And now I have landed on the job, and currently I have joined the position in the hospital too, and it's been going to be a 1 month. So from my personal experience, what actually matters in Australian healthcare system is communication. Even if you know a thing in a particular question being asked in the AMC Part 2, or like a question which is being asked, you are not able to answer it. If you are frank enough to open up that you are not able to answer that, that is a good point, rather than making up messier answers. And basically, it's just a communication chat that you need to build up a good rapport between the patient or the role player. And as all guys know, till now it was AMC Part 2, which was conducted online. But from the next year onwards, from Feb to May 2025, they have released the dates which are completely face-to-face. So that's the difference which is going to be happened from this year when compared to the next year. So basically, the structure of the exams is all same. It has 14 clinical stations plus 2 pilot stations. And these pilot stations are something which we can know only after the results being published. So basically, in total, 16 stations are there that you need to attempt for the exam, each lasting for 10 minutes, which is breaked up into 2 minutes of reading time, and you have 8 minutes of the presentation time. So that's a timing structure. And in online, you had breaks in between, but in face-to-face, basically, you won't have much breaks. So it will be a shorter duration of exam, which is a very good merit of that exam. because in online, when I sat for the exam, it was from the early morning, the Indian time of 4:30 till the mid noon till 12 p.m. There was the exam which was
Right.
lasting. So you guys can imagine how long, how lengthy it was exam, irrespective of the breaks were there. But
Correct.
still, it's an exam.
Hmm.
But when you compare to the face to face, it's a positive aspect that it's maximum 4 to 4.5 hours.
Okay.
So that's a good thing. You can just finish it off. And the theory and all is everything going to be same, but still, what's the difference? But we are likely to expect is a physical examination. So in the
Correct.
case of online physical examination, you don't have to demonstrate any skills. You just have to explain it very well to make it understandable for the patient as well as the medical student or the medical
Correct.
student, whoever will be the role player. But what is your need skill needed in the face-to-face exams, you need to demonstrate that on the patient. But
Yeah.
to be frank, that is something which is we all have learned during our MBBS degree. So that's just a brushing up of the skill. So you don't have to worry about it. That's what I understand from the face-to-face physical examination.
Okay, thank you so much for the clarification, ma'am. So now I would also like to ask you that students often believe that the AMC MCQ is easy exam and the AMC clinical exam is the real deal. So what do you think? Is it like the truth, or is it just a myth that people usually talk about?
To be open up, like it's a myth. In fact, both parts are doable exam. Both AMC Part 1, MCQ is doable. Both AMC Part 2, clinical exam is also doable. All
Yeah,
you need is good preparation, a minimum
correct.
of a good effort from your inner side, good preparation, which is you need to devote much of your time when
Hmm.
compared to Part 1 with respect to Part 2. You need to put a little bit more effort in Part 2, like basically you need to practice more and more role play so that your fear of talking to people, I mean talking to the
Correct.
patients, will just raise it off. So basically they are both doable exam but do have the low passing rate. Yes, passing rate is a bit lower side for the AMC clinical exam, but still it's a doable. It's
Okay.
eligible, I would say.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. Now, also, let's talk about the budget now. That what are the fees for the ANC2 exam, and what are the other costs that are involved, and candidates should expect in their budget, like prepare the whole budget, like such as travel or accommodation or the other property materials, etc.
Okay. As of now, for the AMC Part 2, with respect to maybe Indian rupees, I can say, so that
Yeah,
because most of them are Indians or like maybe in the Australian dollar, I just maybe inform a rough figure. In Indian rupees, it's around 2.5 lakh for the
okay,
AMC Part 2. And maybe in the Australian dollar, I think it's 2000 or 4000, not sure, but still in the Indian rupees, it's what I need to remember in
yeah, yeah,
conversion.
yeah, yeah.
So it's 2.5 lakhs. And that's the exam point of view. And once the exam is completed, you secure a position. The next step is you need to apply for the APRA registration. APRA
Correct.
registration costs around 80,000 rupees. And for the visa, usually the visa we need is 482 visa. That's what the hospital usually sponsors. But some are lucky enough to get 191 or 189, which is a permanent residence, which is very less likely in case of doctors. Usually they provide for the nursing staff and other medical laboratory staff because we need general registration to get complete access to the permanent residency pathway. So basically, 482 visa, which is a temporary skills shortage visa, which is normally provided to us, which can be 1 year or 2 year, depends upon the employer. So basically, we need to pay for that visa also, which is respective of like a mere around 70,000 and all for the visa, and a health examination, which is costing for 10,000 rupees. So, and depending upon the number of members, the dependents you are like a husband or the partner, and the number of kids you are having or who are all accompanying you, so the total cost varies from that. And regarding the flights, it depends upon the airlines and the season too. If it's an off season, you are
Mm-hmm.
lucky enough, you'll get a fair price. But
Mm-hmm.
unlikely, I got it at a higher price because of the season time. So,
Right.
but to be in frank, we all states have relocation packages which can be reimbursed. So from my perspective, you don't have to worry about the amount. It's just initial thing that we need to arrange and you are going to get it back from the government.
Right.
So the relocation package is different from each state. The amount differs from each state, like 10,000, 15,000, 5,000. So it differs from each state.
Okay.
And apart from that, you are able to make the money when you come to Australia. That's a positive point.
Exactly, exactly. That is really true because, this is sort of an investment that you're going to do for yourself to, maybe earn in like 10x, 100x,
Yeah,
because this is a
yeah,
one-time investment. Once you're like done with it, you are going to just earn and earn.
exactly.
Right. So now our viewers would also like to know something about the ground reality. Like if we say that, can you please like tell them what kind of career opportunities are there? What is the potential salaries and the pathways for the specializations that are available in Australia for the IMGs who complete the AMC2 exam, and how competitive is the job market for them?
Okay. Right now, after AMC Part 2, it's easier to secure the job. But now
Mm-hmm.
we are having the campaigns. Basically, the first campaign is for the IMGs, or first campaign is basically the IMGs or the citizens or the permanent residents who are already here in Australia. So that's a preference which is being given. But
Okay.
somehow, some are lucky enough to secure position in the campaign one. And second campaign is going to be held from February to March, I guess. So that's basically for the IMGs where you can give a shot. Those are past the clinical exam. You are going to land up in a position in the second campaign itself. So
Okay.
basically, that's the thing. And from that's the job marketing. And regarding the specializations which all are seeking for, you need to secure a general registration. After AMC Part 2, it's your provisional registration which is getting activated. So after 1 year of getting the rotations, medicine, surgery, and emergency medicine, then you are likely to get the general registration. You can apply for general registration from UpGraph, and
Mm-hmm.
then you can apply for the specialist training. Basically, most of the trainings are open to the IMGs. Like you have GP training, you have the BPT training with the basic physician training, you have the surgical training, you have the gynae training, pediatric trainees. So there is no
Okay.
barrier for IMGs like that. But
Okay.
it's hard to secure the surgical training and in the surgical streams a bit more when compared to the medical thing. But you can do it.
Okay, okay, I think that's pretty much clear for all of us. Now, I would also like to ask you that you yourself have completed these exams. So, can you tell us your life, how it has been changed, after clearing these examinations?
It's basically a miracle. Life has changed tremendously. It was a drastic shift from being in the home country to being suddenly here in a new country, in
Correct.
a new job, new healthcare system, and we have a family here. So it's all the chaos, and we need is enjoy between your chaos.
Correct.
It's a fact that you have moved yourself, you have put in your effort, and
Yeah.
think like you have cleared the exams. You have no more exams for at least 1 year until
Yeah.
you take a training. So you are cleared
Correct.
of exams. You are totally free.
Hmm.
So that's the thing you need to keep in mind while studying too. So you will feel happiness. You will feel that real happiness once you have cleared the exam, when you have secured a position, when you moved here. You will feel that immense happiness from your mind.
Definitely, I'm sure that it is a big relief, once you are there,
Yeah.
you have cleared each and every exam, and now you can like literally enjoy and take it in. So it must be a very amazing feeling for like all of the students who have cleared both of these exams, like, and along with the English proficiency, of course.
Yeah.
Correct. So, ma'am, would you also like to tell us your views on the importance of coaching and support for the AMC exam? Because usually, like students or the doctors think that, we can, prepare ourselves and maybe take up the exam. So, what do you have to say on that? Like the importance of taking up the coaching for the AMC?
Okay. If there is a mentor to support you, that would be
Yeah.
a very good positive thing. Like AMC is totally a new system, and resources are very less. Now
Mm-hmm.
the resources are becoming more and flourish, but still the resources are less when compared to other exams like LAB, USMLE,
Mm-hmm.
and Gulf exams as well. You have limited resources and limited opportunities, as well as limited agencies to approach for securing a job. So, what I advise is, if you are having a good mentor, that will
Mm-hmm.
be enough to clear the exam, and as well as a mentor to guide to secure positions while applying for the job. That would be a positive thing rather than stressing upon.
Definitely, definitely. That's a good point that, rather than stressing out so much, it's better
Yeah.
that you take some guidance that can definitely make it easier for you to pass the exam. Correct. So, ma'am, now that you have been a part of Academically's AMC team for quite some time now, also your contribution to the development of our AMC Part 1 and Part 2 courses. So, what can you say about these courses and what role do they play in AMC preparation? Like, how do they ensure success for aspirants?
Yeah, basically, I'm glad to be part of academically team. So they are good, putting a good effort. They have good materials when compared to the AMC Part One, which is all like updated guidelines and all. So usually the tutors or the mentors, we have a cross check on the materials provided, and sometimes some error can happen, which is quite human likely. But still, most of them are updated guidelines according to RICGP and RCH guidelines, which we refer from the Australian healthcare system. And from my personal advice, which I have given to the team for the starting for the MC Part 2 clinical coaching too. So I have stressed that you need to stress upon more on role plays. That's the point I have stressed upon. So yes, I think academically has supported it, and you will be having a great time with their coaching too. So likely, like there will be a fruitful effort from their side too.
Correct. Now I would come to one of the most important question of the day, that please share the recommended strategies and resources for IMGs preparing for the AMC2 along with some proven tips and tricks for the preparation.
Okay, what from my preparation was like purely for 6 months.
Correct.
6 months of intensive preparation is what I did as a mother. Yeah, like I was a mother to a newborn baby, so it was a drastic thing. So the 6 months I have put in effort to have a fruitful result. I used to learn literally early morning, midnight, afternoon. So respective, like to be frank, when my baby sleeps. So that's how I scheduled my learning. And resources, I usually are dependent upon the offline resources because I wasn't aware of the resources available. There was there was no much guidance for me. So it's something like I sorted it out, I googled it out, I find out from the groups, and I made my own notes from the references like Livesey, and you have Karen, Marwan, different notes available. From that I made my own notes. I structured my strategy, and then yes, initially it was a hard thing. Like, what is something which I need to focus upon? What is the clinical phase? Because it's hard to find a study partner initially. Later on, I got a study partner and we did role plays. And yes, she helped me a lot. My study partner helped me a lot to open up, and because she was already in Australia, she was able to tell me the slang, the language differences.
Yeah.
And the bit of basically Australian English is a bit shorter. You don't have to use its was, were, this complete sentences. So that's something which I was stressed upon. So she helped me to find out the small phrases, and basically it was a role play which I did towards the end, helped me. Yeah. And this, I did a theory refreshment from the notes which I made, and regarding physical examination also, I made my own notes from the app. It was Geeky Medics, which was available, and there are offline resources which are available, and I made it from the resources, and I referred from that, and obviously recalls. I did a recall of 1 year, which was quite helpful for me. Like most of the cases for my exam was quite familiar except to all 3 questions, but it was doable.
Ma'am, definitely. I'm sure that, you set an example, being a mother, when your child is sleeping and you are, full-fledged preparing for the exam, you set an example for all the IMGs, I'm sure, and, all of the people who are preparing for the AMC exam and who think that they can't do it. There are a lot of people, and, we get a lot of comments and DMs also on our social media platform that, sir, I am working, how will I prepare for it? Or, ma'am, I am married, or I'm going to get married, I have a child. But this proves that, you do not have to make an excuse. You can do it. Like, if you have the will, you can definitely do it.
Yes, it's your life. It's you.
Definitely. Correct. So you did not even have a coaching, you did not have a proper guidance, but you still managed to do it. But we here at Academically, we are sorting this all for you, and you will definitely get a very good result.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much once again, Dr. Imelda. I'm sure that this podcast will definitely guide a lot of students, a lot of healthcare professionals who wish to go to Australia. And you have literally cleared each and everything related to the AMC2 exam and how you can work as a doctor in Australia. So thank you so much for guiding us today.
And thanks, everybody. Thanks, Academy, for this opportunity. Hope everyone will land up in Australia soon. And just
Definitely.
what my opinion or what my what my guidance is, study as if you are not going to write any exams more. You don't have any exams more. No more APRA,
Correct.
no more OMC. So that will finally clear everything.
That's a really great suggestion. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our podcast today. We will be coming up with another podcast sessions on different courses. So we at Academically provide registration courses for all the healthcare professionals, not just the doctor. So you can just comment down below if you have any questions or any other query that you would like to ask Dr. Imelda, and we will make sure that we reply there. And thank you once again, Dr. Imelda, and everyone for joining us today.